Hi everyone, it's Ash again at Steel City Interactive. This video is our July development update and a walkthrough of the gameplay. I know you've all been looking forward to seeing this and we're really excited to show you where we've got to. So in this video we're going to take you through a number of in-fight mechanics. We're going to talk about our launch plans and make sure you stick around till the end because we have a fighter reveal that we think you're going to like. I also want to say thank you to the boxers who agreed to be in this video. So whilst we were pleased with the feedback we'd received from our March gameplay footage, we knew there were still many items to fix and upgrade, and I'm delighted to show you the progress of that now. As you can see, there's been some significant improvements to our overall venue, lighting and crowd. So throughout the rest of this video, you'll be able to see the actual controllers in each of the corners. We've put this in there just so that you can see the responsiveness of the fighters in the game. It's an area that we've put in a lot of effort because the responsiveness of the controls was incredibly important to our footwork system, and same with the punch control system. So putting all these aspects together, we needed it to flow. So here you'll be able to see exactly how responsive the fighters are, and we're incredibly happy with the results so far. Before we continue to the next phase, we'd just like to say that the referee is going to be replaced with the legendary Kenny Bayliss. So I'm sure you'll all be as pleased as we are that there'll be no more Mr. Generic Referee in our future videos. So Ethan, our gameplay programmer, will take you through the fight mechanics. Please note that none of this is final as we continue to develop ESBC.
So the movement system is split into various states, allowing for full motion control, where pushing the analog stick all the way produces quick steps and halfway has smaller steps. But the transition is very seamless, and this is all part of our footwork system, allowing for angles to be created. However, it's all about the momentum of your fighter. Your fighter will shift their weight from one leg to the other. They won't just instantly float in the opposite direction. So we're really excited about this new feature that we've put into the movement system, and it's giving the player the ability to showboat and actually display some of the mannerisms that some of the marquee fighters will have. So if you've seen Roy Jones Jr. fight, I'm sure you're probably thinking now some of the things that you might be able to do with a fighter like Roy Jones Jr. or even Muhammad Ali. So it really opens up the possibilities. This feature is toggled by pressing up on the D-pad and moving the left stick around in the direction that you want to go. So what this does is it brings out the unique movements for the boxer. This is a combination of showboating and the odd feint within the movement. This is all part of the boxer's personality. Some boxers will have more feints in their loose movement, some boxers will have more of a showboating style. Here you can see Laurent Ticoli feinting a punch but then lands a nicely timed left hook. This is something that is toggled seamlessly, going from loose movement back into your normal stance and vice versa. This is something building out for some of our marquee fighters in the game, but overall it adds another level of realism and tactics into the mix within eSports Boxing Club. Dodging punches will also be possible by flicking the left stick in the direction that you want to go. Combining this with time counters will be key. However, this isn't a case of just initiating a dodge when you realize a punch is coming. You have to anticipate the punch, learn your opponent's patterns and fight styles. Here you can see Lyndon Arthur dodging Laurent Ticoli's punches. However, if you do it too early, you could get yourself into trouble, so timing is key. Also, dodges will look different depending on which fighter you select. The marquee fighters will have a different style. Activating the loose movement modifier will also change how your dodge will look, as you can see here. Another move in the player's defensive arsenal is the ability to weave. This is activated by holding down the left trigger whilst moving the left stick in the direction you want to weave. So here you can see Lyndon Arthur dodging some of Laurent Ticoli's punches. It can also be used as a tactic off the ropes, and you can also block while you weave as well. Here you can see Lawrence Acoli hitting Lyndon Arthur with some counter shots, whilst Lyndon Arthur's throwing a lot of punches using a lot of stamina. It's clear to see here that Lawrence is playing a defensive game, trying to make Lyndon miss as much as possible so that he uses up all his stamina. This is because the stamina has a big impact in terms of punch resistance and the power of your own punch. In addition to being able to weave, players will also now be able to slip punches by pushing the left stick in the direction they want to perform the slip. This is a very quick and efficient way of dodging punches, adding to your defensive game. So the block system in ESBC has two options. Fully manual, which is 3 points on the head, 3 points on the body, left, center and right, that you can block by holding down the right trigger and moving the right stick. There's a semi-automatic mode as well, which will require you to block either the head or the body. We feel by having both of these options, players who want a deeper simulation can select the manual mode, whilst the players who prefer for a more arcade feel can select the semi-automatic mode instead. So we're pleased to confirm that players will be able to throw punches whilst blocking. Whilst these punches aren't as powerful as throwing a punch without blocking, it opens up another aspect of defense for the player. You can throw a jab and a straight whilst holding the block button and flicking the right stick, selecting the desired punch. So combinations play a very important role in ESBC. Each fighter has a total of 42 punches, so you have to be able to put these together. Whether they're from your front foot, the back foot, where it's going from the head to the body, or whether it's stepping away. So combining this together had to feel satisfying. It had to be seamless, where you're able to pick any punch you want, throw it from any angle you want to, and put together at least 2 different punches into a combination. So because flash knockdowns and one-punch knockouts exist in ESBC, you have to really pick your shots. You can't throw too wildly and you can't leave yourself open, because if you do so, the game will punish you for not taking into account your opponent's playstyle. So right now we're working heavily on individual punches and custom movesets. Here you can see Lawrence Acoli throwing his jab, his right hook, his left hook, and it looks distinctively different to the other fighters in the game. So this is something we're focused on. We want to allow players to pick and choose certain punches from different movesets to essentially create their own for their own fighters.
So I'm now going to talk about one of our main philosophies in the studio, which is innovation. One of the things we wanted to recreate in ESBC was the ability for a fighter to be dangerous even whilst they're hurt. You might want to rush in and try and finish them off, but as we all know, in boxing, one punch can change everything. So whilst we're talking about innovation, I want to take you through some of the career stats that we've introduced in ESBC. So this covers everything from health to stamina, conditioning, agility. We do have a couple of interesting stats that haven't really been done before in combat sports. So we have a discipline stat and we also have a confidence stat. Now whilst this was a very UI driven part of the game, we've decided to start developing an interactive career hub. So I'd like to talk to you about our development journey and launch plans. We recently had some very exciting news regarding additional investment. This means additional resources to focus on areas we didn't think possible until after early access. Now we did have plans to launch early access this summer. Because of the massive expansion of the game, the roster, the expectations, we have to make sure we do justice to the names, whether it's Muhammad Ali, Canelo Alvarez, or the upcoming reveal. We can't rush something that we know everybody is excited about, including us with our own high expectations. So what this means is the early access window for this summer won't happen. Now I realise some of you will be disappointed by that. We also realise it's been 10 years since the last licensed boxing game, which has been frustrating for those of us who love boxing. That's the primary reason this studio was created. What we cannot do, and what we won't do, is rush for short-term success. That's not the kind of studio we are. We want to do this right. This is why we're not going to announce a launch window. The next announcement on this topic will be a specific release date. I'm hoping you can see the progress we've made in this gameplay video and the passion for what we're trying to achieve. I'm now going to hand you over to Todd Grisham, who has something he's been waiting to tell you about.
What's up, everybody? I am Todd Grisham, and I'm here in Sheffield, England at Steel City Interactive as we continue to build the greatest fight video game of all time, Esports Boxing Club. This is the 1024 scanning studio, 180 cameras, the most state-of-the-art equipment you can possibly find. You've seen the footage. You know how good it is. You've seen the fighters we've managed to sign, right? Terrence Crawford, Roy Jones Jr., Muhammad Ali, the list goes on and on. Canelo Alvarez, you know the names, but there's one that we've somehow managed to keep a secret. How? I do not know, but the secret is no more. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, this man.
And now, here is the former unified world champion and the current popular, undefeated, and reigning WBC ring and lineal heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the Gypsy King, Tyson